Hello guys and welcome to the new video on Microbit Pomodoro project. Last time we implemented state timer finish, so we did some refactoring of the current state, and what we forget to do in the last video is to switch the state from state timer finish to state delay at the end of this if body. So after we do all of this, we need to simply set state back to state delay. Let's put this block at the end. And now we can simply test our Pomodoro timer just to check if everything is working properly. So I will lower this down to, let's say, 10 seconds for the work phase and 10 seconds for the break phase. And let's turn on the simulator. The reason that I'm putting 10 seconds for both of them is because we need some time to print out these strings start and work and break. Okay, so now it should go to break as it is. Many LEDs are turning off because we are keeping track of time 1 second at a time and not less. So this is expected. Okay, so now we see that it works properly. We can simply turn off the simulator and let's bring back those values. So it was 25 minutes and 5 minutes. I just don't want to leave this hanging around because we might forget to change them later on. There is one more thing that we should take a look at before we move on, and that is our start or pause function. We know that it is called on button A press, and what we are doing is that we are inspecting in which state we are and acting based on that state. So we have state init, state delay, and state pause. If we go back over here, we know that we have 5 states. So we have state tick and state timer finish. If you remember, our Pomodoro timer, while it is in state, before it was in running state, but now we have 2 distinct states. One is delay and the other one is tick. And both of them, when we add up their times, they add up to 1 second. So there is a small portion of time that is used in state tick. But there is, it's possible that you press on button A while the Pomodoro timer is in that state, in the tick state. So we would like to know how to deal with that one. So let's create one more else if block, and I'll just move. Okay, I want to copy all of this to move it down there because I prefer to have pause for the last one. And now let's inspect if state is equal to state tick. Now what we would like to do is to allow our tick state to finish up and to move on to some other state. And in the meantime, we don't want to do anything with our start or pause function. If we leave it like this, it will simply ignore if you press the button A while the Pomodoro timer is in tick state, but we don't want to do that. So let's take while loop, and let's say while state, we can take this condition. While state is in state tick, then we don't want to do anything. We just want it to be stuck in here until the state changes from state tick to something else. And what we want to do after that change is to call the function itself again. So this is start or pause function, and we can find it in here and call it after this while loop exits. If from state tick it comes down to state delay, it will go to state pause. But if it goes from state tick to state timer finish, then this start or pause function will simply ignore it. In other words, if we try to pause our timer exactly before it goes to finish state, we will ignore the pause functionality. Now we can implement our visual and audio alerts at the finish state of our Pomodoro timer. So let's zoom in back on the timer finish state. And right before we do any change, we want to put here our visual and audio alerts. Let's take repeat loop, and we can do this one with 4 times, and we want to alternate between showing all LEDs and showing none LEDs. You can just simply press on a mouse button and drag over to light them all up, and to leave these all on. So this will just basically do this 4 iterations, turn them on, off, and so on. This is our visual alert. And for the audio alert, we want to do something slightly different. We don't want to play the same sound on both phases, on work phase and break phase. But after we finish the work phase, we want to play one sound. I think there is maybe this one. Yes, so we have power down and we have power up. And what we want to do is we want to do it in a controllable way. So we can say until done, and this one as well until done. Now we want to see, let's grab this if block, and okay, this is not working as I expected. So let's take one if block. We need to take the variable is work time, and we need to provide the else block. So if it is work time, then we want to play power down because we just finished the work time. Otherwise, we want to play power up in order to indicate the start of the work phase. So we can lower this down, and let's say we want to have 10 seconds or all of them. And let's start the simulator now. As you can see, there is simulator gets a little bit different. So it has this nice animation that is displaying that it will play sound eventually. Let's press on button A. Now this timer starts. And after 10 seconds, we should see first the visual alert. And then we should hear this music sound. Okay, so now it should switch back to work phase, and it will continue like this. That's all for this video. In the next one, we are going to separate visual and audio alert and play them at the same time. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.